In the previous video, we were discussing about the theory, the usage, importance, and the theoretical rigor. Now, in this video, we will talk about modeling in the quantitative survey research. If you see the diagram, these are something that happened in the quantitative research data. When we do the quantitative research, we do survey research and experimental research. But experimental research normally happened in the education side, while in the business we do the surveys. Another topic that is very important to understand before jumping on to data analysis, and this is known as the reasoning. Now, what is the reasoning? In simple word, if we explain the word reasoning, reasoning drives the methodology or research philosophy. Now, what does it mean? Let me explain. Reasoning, we basically have three types of reasoning: inductive, deductive, and abductive. If we talk about inductive reasoning is a qualitative studies, while deductive reasonings are the quantitative studies. While in between inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, we have another reasoning that is known as abductive reasoning. And in other words, if we mix both quantitative and qualitative one, the study will become a mixed method, and this become abductive reasoning based on the research philosophy. And what is the research philosophy? We have basically three understanding of the research philosophy: interpretivism, positivism, and pragmatism. When we talk about the inductive reasoning, they are called qualitative studies, and we have the research philosophy known as interpretivism. When we do the deductive reasoning, we talks about quantitative studies based on positivism research philosophy. When we do abductive reasoning, based on mixed method studies with or along with pragmatism research philosophy. Now, what does it mean? What does research philosophies over here mean? When we do deductive reasoning, we do positivism. What is positivism? Positivism claims that anything can be explained using numbers. But when we do inductive reasoning or the qualitative studies based on the interpretivism research philosophy, what interpretivism said over here, that numbers are lying. We want to do more in-depth studies. So in between, when we mix them together, quantitative and the qualitative studies, then we have the mixed method study. Now, there is a confusion over mixed method study that you need to understand. Suppose in your research, if your research question number 1 that is related to the quantitative, and research question 2 that is related to qualitative, and this phenomena or this context is not the mixed method, this becomes a multi-method. For mixing, research question must add quantitative and qualitative together. When we do mixed method, we mix both method to get better understanding. Now, there are some ways where we can do mix. Number 1, either we can mix after collecting data and then discuss in the later chapter, in the discussion chapter, or during data collection. Another way that we can or we must mix finding to get better understanding. Suppose if we collect data using qualitative and then find that some relationships are not significant, we may stop over here. And now what we can do from here, we will take some responses based on the quantitative. You might ask your respondent that why this is happening based on the context. Now you can see that we have finding from both sides, quantitative and qualitatives. Now we can mix them together to explain the phenomena. Let's say qualitative studies saying the results are not significant, the relationships are not significant, and the quantitative said the relationships are significant. And on the other hand, theory also saying the relationship is significant. Now you can see in that situations we are in a better positions to explain the phenomena. Mixing mean mixing both quantitative and qualitatives together. But if we run separately, this will become a multi-method. That's why when we do the quantitative reasoning, the first question examiners might ask you that what is your underpinning theory? We have to start with a theory in the quantitative research. Although in the qualitative we do start from the theory, but before theory we begin with the observation first and then we come out with the theory. This has happened in the qualitative side. So you can say the process is opposite, but still we need theory. So after the theory we develop a research model. For that we must have some novelty in our model, and this is also called contribution. How and where you can contribute rest up to you. Independent variable, dependent variable, moderations and mediation, anything, or you might introduce new combination of the variables. Anything that you can contribute, it's totally up to you, but this phenomena will known as contribution. So once you develop the research model, what we have, we develop the hypothesis, then we collect our data based on our variables, and then we will find, obviously we have some results after the analysis, and where we will see that some relationships will be significant and some relationships will not be significant, and later part of our study we have some limitations. So somebody takes our limitations again and to improve the study. That's why we have the limitation and suggestions for future research.